So we're going to ask students, would finding a scholarship make a difference in your educational goals? So we had a question from someone, are there scholarships available for mature students? The answer is yes. We often work with scholarship providers that let us know that their scholarships are for mature students. As Karen has mentioned, when you sign up to our site and create a free profile, basically based on the information you give us, we try and best match you with over 24,000 scholarships available on our site. So one of the boxes that you can tick in terms of identifying yourself is as a mature student. I know there's also a follow-on question from someone asking, is there a scholarship available for single moms or parents? There is also a place where you can identify yourself as a parent. So if an association has made that their criteria for giving the scholarship, you'll be able to be matched to that one. We have a couple of very specific questions from students that are asking about degrees or courses and universities that they're interested in. As Karen has shown you, you can do general searches yourself. So I have a question here from someone looking to go to the University of Alberta. What you can do is you can search for scholarships by schools. So if you check that as your search criteria and type in the University of Alberta, you'll be able to find that. We have another student here who's asking what scholarships are available if I'm looking to go into business administration. In this situation, I would mark your field of study, do the field of study search, and then type in business administration, and you'll be able to find scholarships suitable for you. And as I've also mentioned, when you sign up for an account, when you build your scholarship search profile, if you try and give us as much information as possible, we'll give you somewhere to start. So we'll basically match you and see what scholarships are available for you. What is the best time to apply to most of the scholarships? Now that depends on the scholarship type and the provider and the deadline that they have. We have scholarships with deadlines all throughout the year. I know a lot of people's biggest misconceptions is you only have scholarship deadlines in April, and that is not true.
April.
September and April, and that's not true. Only, I think, 11% of our scholarships are in April, but they're sort of spread throughout the year. So
my a small percentage that that expire in December. So
yeah. So my advice is check for scholarships throughout the year. If you sign up and set yourself up for scholarship alerts, we will update you every so often and let you know of any scholarships that have their deadlines coming up in the next 40 days. Also, I know for certain graduate programs or even undergraduate programs, the scholarships are tied sometimes to the general application deadline, but those are only scholarships that are offered by the school. So, for example, if your application deadline is in February or if it's in April, then your scholarship deadline is probably around then. However, we do have scholarships from companies or organizations or associations that have different timelines. So their timelines aren't specific to your application. They're more whenever that scholarship provider is able to process them.
Yeah, and also to add to that, some scholarships, if you're a student, you need to, at a particular school, if you're a high school student entering that university or college, you will need to accept the offer at the university before you're eligible to apply for a scholarship. Generally speaking, scholarships that are not for automatic consideration and are for your studies starting in, say, for example, September of this year, you may not be eligible to apply for any scholarships until later on. So some scholarships for schools are not updated until after they've approved their budget. Usually that happens at around April or so, and the new updates for scholarships based on the funding that's approved will be updated later, sometimes in June, and sometimes even as late as August, late August or early September. So definitely check back if you're interested in a particular school. Check back on those scholarship application deadlines.
We had a question here. Do they have any scholarships specifically for people with autism? Now again, you can mark that when you create your scholarship search profile. Off the top of my head, I don't think I can think of any, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any available. Oftentimes we do get reached out to by associations or institutions that help with those sorts of causes. So for example, I know the Epilepsy Toronto had reached out to us and they have their scholarship listed on our site. So you can certainly check to see. Another great resource is to contact these associations themselves. So if you reach out to the Canadian Autism Association or even sort of various cancer associations or heart and stroke associations, they might have scholarships available for students that have that sort of illness and help them with funding their education.
In some cases, you really only need to have a family member or a close relative who may have that particular disability or illness. And yeah, then that would make you eligible for a scholarship.
The next question we have is, what are the various post-grad related scholarships? So when you create your scholarship search profile, you can identify the level of study you're looking for. So if you say that you're interested in going into a master's, a doctorate, or a post-diploma program, that will filter for all the scholarships that are available for that. And as I've said as well, you can also search by the school. So you may do scholarship searches based on the school that would provide it. So you can look at the graduate part of a school, or you can look at the business part of a school. So for example, if you're looking at scholarships at York, you can do a search on the Schulich Business School. If you're looking at U of T, you can look at the Rotman School of Management and see what scholarships they have available. So I think we're going to close up the poll. If you have any questions, feel free to keep them coming. We will answer questions at the end of the presentation as well.
Okay.
So when we asked you, would finding a scholarship make a difference in your educational goals, the overwhelming answer was yes. So 82% of you said yes. So we hope in participating in this webinar and learning a little bit more about our site, you can hopefully find some scholarships to help you with your education.